Good afternoon, everyone. This is Saeed Mohammad Zuhair Shah speaking here, and today we'll be discussing about the shift registers in Logisim. Now, as you all know from the previous video, we have discussed shift registers, the types of shift registers, in which we discussed four types of shift registers. One was right shift register, left shift register, then we discussed around shift register, and lastly we discussed bidirectional shift register. Now we will discuss these shift registers working in Logisim. Now as you can see here, I have made this right shift register for a 5-bit binary number. Now we will explain the working over here. Now as you can see, this right here is a clock which will tell us the pulse and which will move to the next cycle on which will help us move to the next cycle and the next state as well. It's like, and this right here is the input that we want to plug in that we want to shift to the right side or to the left side. Now since this is a shift right register, then we want to move our input to the right side. Now for example, we want to add, now we have here we have all zeros here. Suppose we want to add the number 1, so I will click this number and it changes to 1. Now if I turn on the clock here, you can see that the 1 has been shifted to the right side in this output. And if I want to shift the 1 continuously to the right side, you will see that it will keep on shifting to the right side till the last flip-flop. Now, till the last bit, sorry. Now, for example, if I want to again add a different number, or different input values. So for example, I want to add the number 0. Now if I add number 0 in it, you can see the 0 has been shifted to the right side. And as I move it forward, it's being shifted to the right side. And if I want to add 1 again, it will be shifted to the right side again. And as you can see, the ones are being shifted to the right side as each cycle goes on with the help of the clock. Same goes for the left shift register, except the fact that now our numbers, instead of shifting it from the right side, they will be shifted to the left side. Now for example, I want to add the number 1 here to this output of all zeros. Now if I start the clock here, you will see that the number 1 is being shifted to the left side. And now if I do this continuously, you will see that all the ones are being shifted to the left side as each cycle goes on. Now suppose I want to add a different number here, like for example, again I want to add the number 0 here. So I will add the number 0 here and it will shift to the left side as well. If I want to do it again, it will again shift, the number 0 will again shift to the left side. Suppose I want to add 1 again, you can see that the 1 has now been shifted to the left side as well. So this is the working of a left shift register and a right shift register. Yeah. Now we will be discussing around shift registers. Now around shift registers are a bit different from right shift and left shift registers, because in around shift registers we have the last flip-flop's output connected to the input of the first flip-flop. So as you can see in this diagram over here, in this circuit diagram that I've made over here, you can see that we have used JK flip-flops, because for this shift register we need 2 inputs, and that's why we used JK flip-flops as well, because they both and themselves are inputs as well. Now the output of this last flip-flop is actually connected to the input of the first flip-flop. Now how does this work? For example, if I want to shift the number 1 from the first flip-flop to the second flip-flop and then all the way around back to the first flip-flop. So for example, if I put the number 1 here and I start the clock here, so as you can see, when the first cycle starts, the 1 is moved to the next flip-flop, and as I move forward, you can see that the 1 is moving forward to the next flip-flop till it reaches the last flip-flop. And now as you can see that the wires that are being colored right now shows that now the next step or the next flip-flop or the next thing that the 1 will now reach is the first flip-flop, because it's connected to the first flip-flop as well. So as I now turn the clock right now, it now moves to the first flip-flop. the 1 from the last flip-flop has now been transferred or been moved to the first flip-flop as well. So this is how an around shift register actually works. Next, we move on to bidirectional shift registers. Now, bidirectional shift registers are a little bit complicated, but it provides an easy way for us to determine whether we want to shift the binary number to the left side or to the right side. And because it works with two ways. Either if the input is 1, then the binary number will shift to the left side, and if it's zeros, or if this is 1 and this input is 1, then the binary bit will move to the right side. How? Let me show you. Now, initially, if I put this to 0, if I put this left/right to 0, and this input I have set to 1, now what you will see that this 1 has been shifted to the left side. And as you can see, the 1 is being shifted to the left side as well. The 1 is being slowly moving to the left side. And if I want to put in the number 0 here, you can see that the number 0 is being shifted to the left side here. And now if I want to add the number 1 again, you can see that the number 1 is being shifted to the left side. Now what if I put this one here? You can now see that the number 1 that I am trying to input is moving to the right side. Initially it was 0011. Now it's 1011. That means the 1 is now being shifted to the right side. And as I move on, the 1 is now moving to the right side slowly and gradually. And if I want to input the number 0 here, you can see that the number 0 is being shifted to the right side as well. So this is how a bidirectional shift register works if we want to determine whether the binary number wants to move to the left side or right side. It depends upon these two inputs. And if we have all ones, you can see that it moves to the right side. If we put this 0 here, you will see that 1 will move to the left side. And if they're both zeros, nothing happens. Well, technically this 0 now moves to the left side, as you can see here. So this is the working of a bidirectional shift register.